Animal cells can activate an intracellular death program and kill themselves in a controlled manner when they are either irreversibly damaged, no longer needed, or if they're a threat to the organism. In most cases, cell death occurs either by apoptosis or necrosis. Well, when I was a student, these terms used to confuse me a lot. Well, since cell death is occurring in both, so what are the differences? Let's make a brief comparison between the two. Apoptosis is the programmed cell death, or some literature even call it cellular suicide. It occurs through the shrinking of cytoplasm, followed by the condensation of the nucleus. In this process, the cell itself takes part in its death. Talking about necrosis, necrosis is the premature cell death, or accidental cell death, that occurs through the swelling of cytoplasm along with mitochondria, followed by cell lysis. So this was just a definition of both apoptosis and necrosis. For more detailed differentiation, keep watching this video. Now before we jump into the video, I have a very important question for you. Have you subscribed to our channel? If not, then subscribe right now to stay updated with the latest and brand new sqadia.com lectures. And click on the bell icon to stay notified about new releases. We upload a full lecture every single week with some short videos sprinkled in between. So that being said, now that you've subscribed, let's return to the lecture. Apoptosis occurs through well-defined, consequent morphological changes. The cell shrinks by drying, condenses, and finally gets fragmented. Small membrane-bound vesicles called apoptotic bodies are formed that contain the cellular contents. Hence, during apoptosis, no release of the content of the cell into the extracellular environment is observed, without generating an inflammatory response. Whereas necrosis is another type of cell death, occurring in cells due to their high exposure to extreme conditions. This causes damage to the internal cellular environment along with rapid cell and tissue damage. During necrosis, cellular content is released into the extracellular environment, generating a deleterious effect on the neighboring cells. So we can say that apoptosis is localized, while necrosis is contagious to the nearby cells. Do you know that a fun-filled life can get complicated? Well, you must be wondering, what is this? Well, I'm talking about the 6 morphological distinct type of necrosis, and this mnemonic will help you never forget these terms. Where fun is for fat necrosis, filled is for fibrinoid necrosis, life is for liquefactive necrosis, can is for coagulative necrosis, get for gangrenous necrosis, and complicated for caseous necrosis. So again, these are the 6 morphologically distinct type of necrosis. Remember that apoptosis is a naturally occurring physiological process. Apoptosis allows the maintaining of the balance of cell multiplication. That means each and every cell in the body has a shelf life. The common example are red blood cells, which live only for 120 days. And they destroy themselves inside the body by apoptosis. On the other hand, necrosis is a pathological process which is caused by external agents like toxins, infections, mechanical trauma, ischemia, damaged blood vessels, thermal effects, and even spider bites may also cause necrosis. Now let's zoom into the different parts of the cell and see what is happening there in each process. Talking about membrane integrity and vesicle formation. Well, during apoptosis, the blebbing of the plasma membrane is observed without losing its integrity. Membrane-bound vesicles, which are called apoptotic bodies, are formed by apoptosis and fragmenting the cells into smaller bodies. Now, during necrosis, the membrane integrity is loosened and no vesicles are formed, but complete cell lysis occurs, releasing the cellular contents into the extracellular fluid. You must remember that during apoptosis, mitochondria becomes leaky by forming pores on the membrane. but the integrity of lysosomes and other organelles in a apoptotic cell is still maintained. On the other hand, the integrity of mitochondria is well maintained in necrosis, while lysosomes are the ones that become leaky, and during necrosis, organelles are disintegrated by swelling and do not function after the cell death. Chromatin is aggregated during apoptosis as the cell shrinks and the chromatin gets more condensed. In necrosis, no structural change is observed in chromatin during necrosis. Apoptosis is tightly regulated by its activation of the pathway by enzymes. Apoptosis is a caspase-dependent pathway. Caspases are also called cysteine aspartic proteases. They're a family of protease enzymes that play essential roles in apoptosis. On the other hand, necrosis is an unregulated process usually, and necrosis is a caspase-independent pathway. Apoptosis is an active process requiring ATP energy, while necrosis is an inactive process, hence no energy is required. Now, if we look in the nucleus, pre-lytic DNA fragmentation is observed in apoptosis. These DNA fragments show band pattern in agarose gel electrophoresis. While in necrosis, post-lytic DNA digestion occurs and the DNA in the cell is randomly digested. So it shows a smear in agarose gel electrophoresis. Now during apoptosis, various factors like cytochrome C and AIF are released into cytoplasm of the dying cell by its mitochondria. Remember that I told you that the mitochondria was becoming leaky in the case of apoptosis? AIF is also called Apoptosis-inducing Factor, but it's a small protein that resides normally within the intramembrane space of the mitochondria. And upon certain death stimuli, they translocate into the cytosol and ultimately the nucleus, where it contributes to DNA fragmentation and chromatin condensation. And in the case of necrosis, no factors are released by the mitochondria into the cytoplasm. Now, after all the processes we discussed have occurred, the apoptotic cells are then phagocytized, either by phagocytes or the adjacent cells. And in necrosis, the necrotic cells are only phagocytized by phagocytes. Which is why in the case of apoptosis, neither inflammation nor tissue damage is caused, and it is often beneficial. While it is only harmful in the cases where non-apoptotic cells lead to the formation of either tumors or cancers, and when there is an increased rate of apoptosis. Well, we have all heard that if there is an excess of anything, that is quite harmful. So same is the case here. So in that case, it may result in different disease conditions in the heart and in the liver. Now, in the case of necrosis, the remnants of the cells are phagocytized by phagocytes. So we can say that a significant inflammatory response is generated by the immune system of the organism during necrosis. It may cause tissue damage and is always harmful to the organism. Now, untreated necrosis may even be fatal. Now, if we talk about why are these processes even necessary? Well, apoptosis is a necessary process as it is involved in controlling the cell number in the body of multicellular organisms. And necrosis is involved in the tissue damage and the induction of immune system, defending the body from pathogens as well. So that was all. Just to make sure that you haven't missed a point, take a moment to fully take in this diagram, to make mental notes. Well, that's it for the video. Stay tuned for more awesome content only on sqadia.com.